Hey everyone, Jim Admiral with a really quick look here for TTRPG Quick Look. I have here in front of me my print proof of Chronicles of the Awakening, my Sentience Kickstarter compilation of adventures. And here you see a few robots looking out over their cityscape, and these are the stories that we tell. So, some of you might recognize a few of these stories if you purchased the previous Tales of the Awakening, but we did get a bunch of new ones in here as well. This is my first time going through to see how the print copy went. It looked like they were a little off there, but that's fine. We've got a foreword by Jim Johnson, who is the project manager for Star Trek Adventures and line editor for that matter. He's been a big supporter of the game for quite a while. The first story is Circuit Breakers. This is written by Michael Dismuke, who is also of Star Trek Adventures fame. This is really talking about experiencing the extremes of emotions. So, yeah, Doc Fizzlebolts is there. We got some new robots hanging out here. Rowdy Rhode Island, there he is. Oh, yeah, there's Deputy Fizzlebolts with the cowboy hat on. So this adventure, like I said, is all about, it's sort of like Point Break, where there's this group going around that loves to experience fear, and they do crazy things in order to experience that. And essentially you are assembled together to try to keep this group from messing up the town, essentially. So really, really cool adventure. And it's got some cool role-playing prompts in here as well, where you can potentially join up with this band of thrill seekers. So, Night of the Comet. This is written by Jesse Robitis, I believe. Yeah, it absolutely is Jesse Robitis. Cool. And this is where a comet crashes onto the planet, and essentially there's something on the comet that kind of starts corrupting robots and eating away at their chassis and things like that. This is almost like a horror type game adventure where you are digging into the wreckage of where the comet hit and dealing with the robots there. So there's Nightlight. He's so good, so fun. Love it. Oh man, these Rusted Monolith. Yep. Good stuff here. There's even a map here that Jesse drew, which is great. Execute Directive, written by Michael McRae. This is a story about a rogue AI program that has determined that sentience is a flaw in the system. And everyone who is sentient needs to be removed of that sentience and brought back into the fold as far as being a normal robot, according to this program's opinion. So you got some defense drones in there. This analyst bot is awesome. I helped Michael design this character. Essentially, it's got a one of those giant assembly arms with it in its room, and they work together quite well. The final quote unquote final boss of this story is a swarm character, which is cool to see as well. Storm's Wake by Nick Walco. This is essentially the weather station outside of the primary city of New Dawn. Stops working, and a huge storm comes through and causes a bunch of wreckage. You have to go rescue a bunch of bots, and then try to figure out what happened to the weather station. Of course, you learn eventually that there were these characters called the Preservationists, and they're basically a group who they're like eco-terrorists, so to speak. They're trying to keep the robots from spreading too far from their realm. Isotopes. This is written by Aaron Paulier. He also writes for Star Trek Adventures, and he's done a lot of work with BattleTech. And this is essentially the robots are brought outside of the city and have to deal with essentially a nuclear meltdown. And there are reasons behind it, and Aaron put a lot of science in here, which is great. And yeah, so essentially you have to try to stop this meltdown or at least contain it. And yeah, at the same time, you kind of look at, get it to reflect on, how, like, what your life means and like how you could potentially die and things like that. Really, really deep, like intrinsic or introspective themes in this story. Streets at Night. I'm running this on Saturday for a couple of folks, one in Japan, one in England. So this will be fun. I'm not going to get super into it, but I do have the rules for how to do bowling in here. And we get a story. It's basically a gangster story, very similar to like a Fast and the Furious type thing. I introduced vehicle rules in here as well. Echoes of Humanity, Troy Mepians, who has written for Star Trek Adventures, and as well as he's the main creator of the Ashland 2D20 game, also the Yellow Hand is putting out. But this is essentially you go camping, which is great. You start off at a camping adventure and, setting up a tent, building a fire, assembling a telescope. And, of course, frustrations always happen when you're setting up a camp. So there's little rules in here to deal with those frustrations and whatnot, which is fun. And you get this essentially a communications ping. And upon investigating, you do find something buried in the side of a mountain. There are holograms inside of humanity, and you get to interact with those holograms and, again, deal with some morality type stuff. Companions, this used to be in the core rulebook. We've moved it over to this adventure compendium. This is where the robots are out hiking, and they essentially find something the humans left behind. They deal with robot pets, and what does that mean in robot society? How is it that pets affect the evolution of people? That type of stuff. Really, really fun story. Most people that play it love it. And then I believe this is the last one, the Stray Code. This was the original Kickstart adventure. This was the very first adventure that I ever wrote for the game. And it starts off with a book club. And then you find that these robots that are not sentient are losing control of their functions and essentially attacking the city. And you eventually find out that this all comes to a head at this mine where this party was being held. And you go investigate the mine and figure out what was going on. And you do have the conversation of the end of, well, what should we be doing to prepare for humanity's return? And that's the big question. We also have here the original pre-gens. So we have Saint, we have Aldor Rain, we have Dorandal, we have Rasputin, we have Mother Bear, Viola Lystrom, and that is it. We got our little ad page here of all of our other games. And that is Chronicles of the Awakening. The print looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit staggered here on the side. But for the most part, this is awesome. I'm so excited to start getting these. Core Rulebook is getting proofread as we speak. And hopefully we should be seeing that in the next couple weeks as well. Still on target to ship these out in May. Hopefully within the first couple of weeks. So I will update you guys accordingly once we know more. That's all I got for you. Take care.